South African Tourism CEO, Sisa Ntshona, joins us now. Mr. Ntshona, good evening. Thanks very much for your time. Well, I mean, I remember in one interview you had with us a while ago, you spoke of a rather untenable situation in China, for example, where you had one office in Beijing manned by 3 people in a country of close to 1.4 billion rand. Now, has that situation changed, and does it speak to, is it one of the situations that are speaking to the numbers that we are, the improved numbers that we're seeing today?
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. Not quite yet, you're absolutely right. China is one of those markets that we are struggling a bit with. The visa regime is one of those areas that is going to give us improvement there. What actually helped us with our numbers is you'd have seen there's been a bit of a reform from Home Affairs. There's a couple of countries actually that they've lifted visas rather, a visa waiver, and immediately we've seen those figures start to climb up quite substantially. A case in point is a country like Angola, where we've seen 38% increase year on year as soon as the visas have been waived.
So you are saying in a nutshell that the changes that were implemented on the back of the president's stimulus package announcement are beginning to work, and had they been done earlier, the situation would have improved vastly, much more than the 8.6 million international tourists that we're talking about here.
Look, we are definitely seeing growth year on year, 1.7%. However, we are still growing less than the global average of tourism. So therefore, definitely there lies an opportunity. The interesting thing here, it's never just one thing. Visas is merely one of the items. The other thing that we actually focused on was airline connectivity, because essentially South Africa is a long-haul destination. There are more airlines now flying to South Africa. We've seen Rwanda Air, as an example, increasing its frequency into Cape Town. Emirates just added another flight over there. Alitalia now does Rome, Johannesburg. BA does now Heathrow to Kinshasa International Airport. So essentially all of this is helping to drive the numbers in there. We still have other issues to resolve. We still have a hang-up of the drought or water issue in Cape Town. So therefore, we're telling the world at the moment that we do have water in Cape Town. Please come through and visit.
But whose job is it? Is it yours only to then tell the world that Cape Town now has water? Because, I mean, aren't all these people, aren't you all supposed to work together? I'm also thinking of the national carrier that's supposed to take Africa to the world and bring the world to Africa. Are they doing their part? In other words, are all these people that are supposed to play their respective parts doing what they're supposed to do?
Absolutely. We are leading the chant from up front. We set the tone, we give the narrative, and we've always said it takes everyone for tourism to happen. You know, whether you are police, Home Affairs, safety and security, right across the board. But we are spearheading it, and they're really giving the tone for the national airlines, an example, to play their part. And I must say, everyone's been coming along. And, you know, the issues around the water thing, as an example, has been one example where a country gets together to actually show they can overcome something that is a natural cause.
But then, what about, I mean, you said earlier that, it's thanks in large part to the African land arrivals that you have the numbers, the improved numbers that we are seeing. But then one has just remembered that your regional, or what is supposed to be your regional airline in the form of South African Express, has not been operating for quite a while. It did start slowly a couple of months ago, but it's nowhere near where it once was. How are you having conversations with, the powers that be to actually, untap the potential in those corners as well?
Absolutely. We speak with the national carrier, airline, SA Express, SA Airlink. However, we also speak to other airlines as well. To give an example, Rwanda Air at the moment flies from Kigali to Harare in Zimbabwe, and then to Cape Town. So we're able to connect those dots from that side. So essentially now there is a direct flight between Cape Town and Harare through Rwanda Air. We look at a whole mix and different permutations. As long as at the end of the day we can consistent, reliable and affordable air connectivity, that'll be a winner for us.
Mr. Njwana, that's why we're going to leave it for tonight. Thanks very much for your time, the CEO of South African Tourism, on the back, of course, of those numbers. 2018 showing a slight growth during the period January to October when compared to the same period last year.